about the history of harmonicas
Yeah.
back in the 90s, probably. So, Steve, could you briefly describe the chronology of the appearance of Hohner Diatonic models after the Marine Band?
Yeah.
Alexander is particularly interested in the handmade series, so Golden Melody, Blues Harp, Raw Harp, Special 20. In what years were they launched and for what purposes?
Well, the thing is, right, that Hohner started making the Marine Band a very long time ago. And in the 1960s, they realized that it was becoming very popular with blues harmonica players. The people in the factory, the people in the company, didn't really at that time understand Black American music. But they realized that it was a big market because after the British blues invasion, where English bands brought the blues back to the United States, which started with the Rolling Stones, basically, yeah, they made blues, which used to be Black American popular music, into music which was popular with white people, right? And this is very central to understanding how the company's policies developed. And so they introduced in about 1966 an instrument which they decided to call the Blues Harp. And it was a Marine Band. The inside is identical to the Marine Band, but they put different covers on it. And these covers, I never liked them. I always found they made the sound softer because they don't have the side openings. But that is the only difference, is the covers. The old Blues Harp, the original Blues Harp, I'm not talking about the MS Blues Harp, I'm talking about the original Blues Harp, which was introduced in 1966. They basically wanted to cash in on a name that would be good for marketing. And they've actually trademarked it. It's copyright, the name Blues Harp now. So it was a marketing move. I never liked the instrument very much, the Blues Harp. And when I occasionally had to buy one, I would usually just take the covers off and throw them away and put on Marine Band covers, because then I had a new Marine Band. So that was the Blues Harp, and that came out, like I say, I think 1966. In the 1970s, I can't remember when the Special 20 was first introduced, but as far as I can recall, it will have been the early 1970s, because a lot of players complained about the wood of the Marine Band. The original Marine Band comb, it was not sealed, right? It was just pear wood that was cut, and it was raw on the inside. So it tended to swell up from the saliva, from the moisture in your breath and in the saliva. And the comb would swell up. Wait a minute, I have to show you this. Just one second. Oh, I've got one here. Yeah, I have. This is the same as an original Marine Band. It's actually a old standby, but it's the same inside as the Marine Band. And these wooden tines here, they would swell up and project out the front and cut your lips. So players sometimes complained about this, and so Hohner introduced a plastic comb harmonica, the Special 20, in order to deal with this problem, which it does very well, of course, because the Special 20 comb doesn't swell up when it gets wet. And round about the same time, but possibly slightly later, they brought out the 10-hole Golden Melody, which was also the same reeds as in the Marine Band, but a different construction. And this was based the golden melody is actually a much older instrument. The golden melodies were first introduced, I believe, in the 1950s. I can have a look. I've got a document somewhere. I'll see if I can find it with production dates on it. Where is it? Let's have a look. Give me 1 second and I'll find it for you, yeah?
Андрій, я так розумію, що раніше за що?
Before the Special 20 golden melodies came out.
Special
Yeah.
And they also were with nails.
Yeah,
Right.
the golden melody was nailed, and the special 20. Originally, they were fixed with nails, which is a pretty stupid way to assemble a plastic body harmonica. And eventually, they finally got around to installing screws because that's a much simpler method of construction. Let me just see if I can find, what have we got? Golden melody, is that here? G, G, G. No, I can't find the fucking thing. They haven't got it in here. That's weird. No, it's not in my list, so I can't tell you when it was introduced. But there were much older golden melodies. Some of them were tremolo harmonicas. They were bigger, and they were tremolo harmonicas. And then they were manufacturing at the time of the company centenary, 100 years of Hohner. That was 1957. They were making instruments which looked very like a golden melody but had different names. Some of them they called marine bands, even though they had a plastic comb. Some of them they called navy band. There's a whole series of diatonics from around that time, from the 1950s, which had a very similar design to the golden melody. So the idea of the golden melody definitely predates the Special 20, but the actual model golden melody diatonic 10-hole that we know today, the first time I recall seeing it was about 1975.